Most people think Abraham was a man who lived thousands of years ago in the Middle East. But what if I told you that Abraham isn't a person at all? He is a potential, a potential living inside of you right now. Today we are going to look at the story of Abram not as ancient history, but as a blueprint for the evolution of your own consciousness. We're going to find out why sin is actually an emotional addiction, why you need to leave your father's house, and the secret power of the letter H. Welcome to the Psychological Bible. Let's decode the myth. It starts with the name. Originally, he is called Abram. In Hebrew mysticism, this name is a composite code. A means father. Ra means spirit or breath. Abram represents the potential to develop the divine mind. But the turning point of the story is when Abram becomes Abraham. What changed? Just one letter, the letter H. In Hebrew, this is the aspirate. It represents the breath of life, the actualization of spirit. Changing from Abram to Abraham isn't just a name change. It symbolizes the shift from having the potential for spirituality to actually living it. This is a journey from the lower brainwaves of beta, down through alpha and theta, in meditation, to touch the divine breath. So how do you get this H? How do you evolve? The first command given to Abram in Genesis 12:1 is brutal. Get out of your country, your kindred, and your father's house. This isn't about moving to a new apartment. Symbolically, your father's house represents your inherited identity, your traditions, your politics, your religion, your family trauma. The Bible is telling you that you cannot evolve if you are stuck in the past. If you stay in your father's house, in your emotional conditioning, you will spiritually die there. To evolve, you must leave behind everything you think you are. And before you say, that's just your interpretation, look at Galatians 4:24. The Apostle Paul himself writes about Abraham and Sarah, saying plainly, which things are an allegory. The Bible itself tells us this is a symbolic story. Abram's journey starts in a place called Ur of the Chaldees. The translation of Ur is Moon City. In ancient symbolism, the moon represents the emotions. Why? Because the moon has no light of its own. It only reflects. It is reactive. The deity of Ur was literally the goddess named Sin. This gives us a radical new definition of sin. Sin isn't just breaking a moral rule. Sin is emotional entrapment. Living in Moon City means being ruled by your reactions, your fears, and your feelings, rather than your spirit. The command to leave Ur is the command to stop being a slave to your emotions. The biggest sinners aren't the people breaking laws. They are the people stuck in emotional reactivity, and perhaps especially in emotional religion. As Abram leaves the Moon City, he travels with Sarai, his wife. But when they get to Egypt, a symbol of the lower, confused mind, things get tricky. Abram tells Sarai, "Say you are my sister." This is a profound psychological allegory. The husband represents the mind. The wife represents the emotions. In a balanced person, the mind husband protects and guides the emotions wife. But in Egyptian, the lower state of consciousness, we get confused. Or we try to pass off our emotional cravings as spiritual truths. We pretend our wife's emotion is our sister spirit. This deception leads to plagues in Pharaoh's house. It means when you confuse your emotional desires with spiritual guidance, you create chaos and suffering in your life. You have to learn to distinguish between what you feel and what is true. Finally, we meet Lot. Lot represents the sensual, lower self, a part of you that wants comfort, pleasure, and safety. Abram is the higher spiritual self, the Bible says. The land was not able to bear them both. You cannot have it both ways. You cannot hold on to your lower reactive habits, Lot, and simultaneously reach higher states of consciousness, Abram. It is only after Lot separates and goes east, symbolizing the lower self being consumed by the light, that God speaks to Abram. God says, "Lift up now thine eyes. All the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it." This is the promise of mastery. Once you separate from your lower reactive nature, you gain dominion over the four corners of your being: body, mind, emotion, and spirit. The journey of Abraham is your journey, is the movement from the Moon City of emotional slavery to the clarity of the spirit. It requires a sacrifice. You have to build an altar and sacrifice your animal nature, your need to be right, your need to react. your attachment to the past. But the reward is Isaac. The name Isaac means laughter and joy. When the mind, Abraham, and the purified emotion, Sarah, finally unite with the spirit, the H, they give birth to joy. So, leave your father's house, step out of the moon city, start your journey toward the promised land of your own higher mind. Thanks for watching. If this interpretation resonated with you, let me know in the comments. Are you living in Abram, or are you ready to become Abraham?